So this is our seated exercise series, and it is a fully seated class. This class mirrors the Tuesday standing class, so you'll see some of the exercises being pretty similar if you've done the Tuesday class as well. Now, just like our other exercise classes through the society, this one is recorded, so it will go onto our YouTube channel, which is Parkinson Society BC, all in one word, about a week after each class. So the recording from today should be online and ready for viewing at this time next week. And so if you miss any classes or if you need to leave early during any of the classes, you are welcome to have a look at the recording afterwards. You won't be needing any equipment today. The only thing you'll be needing is a chair to sit on. So you can see behind me, I've got a chair set up here. And so ideally the chair that you're using today should be something without arms, without armrest, just so that way when you're moving, you won't accidentally hit your arms on the chair. But of course, if a chair with armrest is the only chair you have, that's okay as well. Just be a little bit mindful when you are moving, not to hurt yourself and not to accidentally hit the chair. And ideally, the chair should not have wheels on them, so that way you don't move around too much as you're doing the class. So the way the class is going to work today is we're going to start with a bit of a warm-up drill. There'll be a little bit of a fun warm-up today, which I'll explain in a moment when I get back seated into that chair. And then we'll do a stretch following the warm-up, and then we will do the main exercises in the class, which will be 5 exercises, and we're doing them in sort of a circuit style, if you will. And so there will be 5 exercises. We're going to do 2 minutes each exercise for the first round, and then the second round, we're doing 1 minute each exercise. So 5 exercises, running through it twice, the first round 2 minutes, and the second round 1 minute only. And then at the end of the class, we'll finish with a bit of a cognitive challenge. So I will explain all of that as we go along. Now, for today's class, we will be a little bit slower than the Tuesday class, the Tuesday standing class. But if you find that anything is still a little bit too fast for you, don't worry, you can always slow it down. It's absolutely fine. Or if you want to take a break at any point, you are, of course, welcome to do so. And I just ask that when you are taking your break to get right back into the class, if you can, as soon as possible. So we try to work on some of the stamina for the exercise class. But otherwise, I hope you have fun. We are on the Zoom webinar platform today, so that means you are all muted, and so that way we don't get any feedback or any noise coming through the platform as we're doing our class today. But if you do have any questions, you are welcome to either use the chat box function, which should be at the bottom of your screen. If you click on the chat icon, it should pop up. And I will just type a quick message here in the chat box. I've just written hello, so hopefully you see something pop up. If you don't want to type your question, you are welcome to also ask over voice. And to do that, you just need to click on the raise hand function, which is also at the bottom of the screen. And once you click on that, it should open up the option for you to unmute your microphone. Okay, I think that's it. That's my spiel at the beginning. Let's get started. Hopefully you have a chair that you can sit on today. Remember, it's fully seated class, so no standing at all. Okay, let's get started. Let me move back. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. I've got sort of a lopsided asymmetrical room here, so I am on a bit of an angle, but hopefully you can see me okay. So we are going to start sitting at the front of our seat. So we want to make sure that we're not sitting all the way back here and we're not slouching into the chair, right? You want to sit up nice and tall, and you want to move to the front of your chair so you have some room for your hips to move around, feet flat on the floor, and we're going to start with marching on the spot. So we're just going to start marching here for a moment. Now, you'll probably notice that if you're marching and you're starting to do this, it might be because you're sitting too far back in the chair. So if you sit forward in the chair a bit more, you should be able to then march and swing your arms as well, chest up, and make sure that you're swinging the arms behind you just as much as you're swinging forward, right? So keep going. If I turn sideways for a second, you can see that my arms are going behind me just as much as they're going forward. So I want to make sure the arms are not like this, but they're swinging back behind as well. Okay, keep going with the marching. Now, as you're marching, I will talk you through the little warm-up drill that we're going to do today. So as you're marching, when I call out the number 1, so when I say 1, you are going to bring your arm forwards like this, and you're going to swing one arm back, clap, swing the other one, clap. So you're twisting. So again, so you're swinging back, clap, swing back, clap, and then go right back to your marching. Okay, so that's number 1. When I say number 2, you are going to reach those arms up as high as you can towards the ceiling, and then circle your wrists all the way down. Okay, and then back to marching. When I say number 3, you are going to open your arms and legs as wide as you can, even the fingers, and then bring them in. And then again, you're doing that 5 times. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's number 3. So you do 5 of those, and back to marching. And when I say number 4, you are going to give me 10 punches forward like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, if anything is too fast, you can slow it down. So let me go over that again. You're marching, and so with our warm-up, I'm going to call out numbers 1 to 4. When I say 1, you're going to do 2 claps, so swinging the arms back like this. 1, 2. And then back to marching. When I say number 2, you are going to reach those arms up as high as you can and circle the wrists down and back to marching. When I say number 3, you are going to open and close your arms and legs 5 times like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when I say number 4, you are going to give me 10 punches forward. Okay, let's start. So we're going to go for some marching. 1. And back to marching. 2. And back to marching. 3. 5 times. 'And back to marching. 4. 10 punches forward. Remember, if anything is too fast, you're welcome to slow it down, getting your brain working a little bit this morning. And back to your marching. Let's go for 1. 4. 10 punches forward. Nicely done. 4. 'Good, nicely done. Are you still sitting up nice and tall? 4. 2. Reach up, circle the arms all the way down. 2. Reach up, circle the arms all the way back down. 3. We're opening and closing 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Keep going. Let's do number 3 again. Opening and closing 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. Hopefully you're starting to get a little warm. Let's do number 4, punches forward 10 times. 7, 8, 9, 10. Hopefully you're counting. Let's do 4 again, 10 punches. Always go back to marching when you're done. Let's go for number 3, opening, closing 5 times. Last one, let's go for number 2, big reach and circle the wrist all the way down. Nicely done. Okay, let's do a bit of a stretch. We're going to bring those arms up again, big clasp, reaching up to the ceiling, and then we're going to stretch over to a corner. So nice up and over, stretching over to a corner, almost like your fists are being pulled towards the upper corner of the room. And back to the middle. Same to the other side, reaching those fists on a diagonal to the top corner of the room. Hopefully you feel a stretch on the side of your torso. Good. Bring the arms down. You're going to take your hand, reach the outside of your opposite knee. So my left hand is going to my right knee. And the other hand's wrapping around the back of the chair. You're holding onto the chair, sitting tall, and you're twisting yourself around to look at the back wall. Try to sit up as tall as you can when you're doing this. And we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Same to the other side. Take your hand, grab hold of the opposite knee. Other hand wrapping around the back of the chair, sitting tall and twisting yourself around to look at the back wall. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the middle. Okay, this time we're going to bring those legs nice and wide, wider than your chair ideally. Sit up nice and tall. Place your hands on the inside of your thigh. And see if you can push those legs out a little bit, keeping your spine long. And then can you hinge forward? And you should feel it on your inner thigh here. So pushing your thighs away, but hinging forward at the hips. Spine nice and long, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those legs back in for a rest for a second. And we're going to do that again. Walk those legs out wider than the chair ideally, holding on to the inside of your knee, so like you're pushing them outwards. And then we're going to hinge forward at the hips, spine nice and long, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming back in. Okay, still sitting nice and tall at the front of the chair. Let me turn sideways a little bit so you can see. We're going to bring one leg out in front like so the knee is straight. Sit up nice and tall, hinge forward at the hips, and reach the arms down the straightened leg as far as you can go, almost like you're trying to reach for the ankle. But if you can't, that's okay. Knee, thigh, wherever you can reach is okay. But you should feel a stretch at the back of the thigh. So you don't have to turn sideways like what I'm doing. I'm just turning sideways so you can see what the stretch looks like, but you can, of course, face the front. And coming back in, let's do the same on the other side. So you can face forward. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. Okay, legs straight, same thing, nice and tall, hinge forward at the hips, reach down the leg as far as you feel you're able to go. Hopefully you feel a stretch at the back of the thigh. And coming back up. Okay, let's do a bit for the ankle. We're going to lift the toes off the floor and then lift the heels off the floor, sitting nice and tall. Toes off the floor, heels off the floor. Toes off the floor, heels off the floor. Good, keep going, keep repeating it. Try to lift those toes as high as you can possibly lift them, and then lift the heels as high as you can possibly lift them. Really warm up your ankles. Okay, and then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go opposite. So one side you're lifting up the toes and the other side you're lifting up the heel. And then you're switching, one side lifting up the toes, one side lifting up the heels, and keep switching. You can hold on to your chair if you like, but I want you to sit up nice and tall. No one should be like this. Sit up nice and tall. If you don't feel you're able to sit very tall, then you probably need to come forward in your chair a little bit more. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so our 5 exercises today. So remember, we're doing 2 rounds of the same 5 exercises. The first round, we're doing 2 minutes each exercise. And then the second round, we're doing 1 minute each exercise. So let me show you. The first exercise we're starting with the legs nice and wide. Let me move back a little bit. So we are doing our reverse wood chomp. So legs nice and wide, wider than your chair, because if you're like this, you're gonna have some issues with balance. So we're gonna bring the legs wider, clasp the hands together, and you're gonna reach the arms down to one ankle. Doesn't matter which one, we'll do both, but you're reaching down to one ankle. And then from here, you're gonna pull up on a diagonal, reaching as far as you can, and then bring it back down. So it's almost like you've got a paintbrush in your hands and you're drawing a gigantic diagonal across the canvas in front of you. You're reaching and down to the same ankle, same side, okay? So if I'm going to the left ankle to start with, then I'm pulling up towards the right, okay? So it's opposite, you're drawing a diagonal. So that's the movement. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 1 minute on this side, and then we're gonna do 1 minute on the other side, okay? For a total of 2 minutes for this exercise. Make sense? Okay, are we ready? Here we go. Choose the side that you're starting on. We're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Pull up, reach, 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 and down again. See if you can keep those elbows straight all the way up and down. Really think about that diagonal. You should feel a little bit of a stretch at the top as well. Diagonal, like you're painting a gigantic line across the canvas in front of you. Nicely done. Keep going. Try to keep yourself stable. Remember, if the legs are too close, you're not really gonna get a diagonal. It'll be more of a straight line. So really separate those legs, sitting nice and tall. Nicely done. We've got 20 seconds left on this side, and then we're switching. Nicely done. Hopefully you're not holding your breath. Nice sharp motion going upwards if you can. Nicely done. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do the other side right away, pulling up on a diagonal. Almost like you're drawing a gigantic line across the canvas in front of you. And you're aiming for amplitude here. So how big can you move? Ideally, we don't want the movements to just be like this. We want you to reach down to the ankle and then up towards the corner of the room, towards the ceiling. Hopefully you're nice and stable in your chair. Really feel that big twist, that reach up towards the ceiling. You're clasping your hands together the entire time. See if you can keep those elbows as straight as you can possibly keep them. Remember, if anything feels a little too fast, you're absolutely welcome to slow it down. I just want to make sure that the quality of the movement is still there. So I don't want you to go so fast that you're now going like this and you're not really getting the full movement. I'd rather you go slower, but go for the full range of movement here. And rest. Okay, that was our exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, we're gonna start with the hands in front like this. I might need to move forward a little bit. Okay, So our hands are in front like so. And what we're going to do here is we're going to straighten each of our knees alternatively. So like this, we're going straight. So you're showing me the bottom of your foot, but you'll notice that I'm sitting up nice and tall as I'm doing this. So I'm not going like this every time I'm lifting my legs. I'm sitting up nice and tall over my sit bones, and I'm just showing you the bottom of my foot like so. Okay, so I'm switching legs every time. Okay, now while we're doing that, the arms are gonna do similar to what we did for the warm up, where we kind of twist back, clap, twist back, clap. So we're gonna go opposite arm to leg. So I'm gonna do this. So if I am lifting my right leg, it's my left arm that's forward. If I'm lifting my left leg, it's my right arm that's forward. And so this is the movement here. I'm hitting the wall a little bit, so I have to come forward like that. Okay, so that's the movement. So we're going for 2 minutes here. And when you are lifting your leg, if I sit to the side for a second, what I don't want to see is you do this. Doesn't count. To see how here, I'm not really lifting my leg. I'm straightening it, which is what you want to do, but the leg is not coming off the ground. Where I'd rather you do this, where you're showing me the bottom of your foot and you're using the muscles in your legs to lift the entire leg off the floor rather than relying on the floor. Okay? All right. 2 minutes. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Opposite arm to leg. Clapping those arms together every time. Try to keep the elbows straight if you can. Sitting up nice and tall. Keeping your spine long, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Nicely done. Keep breathing. Remember, if anything feels too fast, you're welcome to slow it down. It doesn't have to match the speed that I'm doing. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you find is doable for you, but challenging at the same time, okay? Nicely done. You can probably hear my fingers hitting the wall. Pretend they're not hitting the wall. My room's a little too narrow, so unfortunately, I can't get any further forward. But keep going. 1 minute left. That's only 60 seconds. Remember to show me the bottom of your foot. So I don't want anyone's legs to be on the floor like this. We want them up in the air. Up in the air. Sitting nice and tall as you can. Twisting your upper body. Nicely done. 30 seconds. Keep going. You're almost there. Really lift that leg. Use your thigh muscles sitting up tall. Remember, if you're sitting too far back in your chair, this is going to be really tough. So make sure you're sitting forward. 15 seconds. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Shake out those arms, shake out those legs. Okay, our next movement is going to be like this. Arms in front again, legs together this time. Now, we're going to bring the leg out to the side, as far out as you can, and you're reaching those arms as wide as you can, really opening those fingers. And then we're going to bring that leg back in, and the arms in, but you're keeping off the floor, and then lower, and then same to the other side. Open nice and wide. Oops, let me move over. Open nice and wide. Really spread out those fingers as wide as you can, fill up as much space as you can. And then you're coming back in like so, and down. And the same to the other side. We're opening, big lifting, and down. Opening, big lift, and down, okay? So remember, if it's too fast, don't worry, you can slow it down. Go for a speed that works for you, but you're still maintaining the quality of the movements. I don't want to see anyone do this. Doesn't count, okay? So we're really reaching, and we're lifting that leg off the floor and lower, and then you do the other side, okay? 2 minutes. This is exercise number 3. You've got 2 more after this one, and then we're doing the second round for only a minute. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, On and go. Reach, reach, reach. In and down. Open as far as you can. Spread those fingers. Reach even more. Lift in and down. Really imagine there's like $1 million on each side of the wall in your room, and you want both. So you're really reaching. You're really going for it. You're opening those fingers as wide as you can. Big lift and down. Opening as wide as you can. Big lift and down. You can, of course, speed up the movements if you would like, but make sure you're seeing the full range of the movements. I don't want to see you go so fast that we're now like this. Doesn't count. I'd rather you go slower, but really reach as far as you can. Nicely done. Remember to lift that leg. So hovering that leg off the floor for just a moment before you place it down. So you're going out, in, out, in. We've got 1 minute left. Remember, if this is too fast, please slow it down. It doesn't have to match my speed, but I do want to see you moving as big as you can. Really reach those fingers. 30 seconds, you're almost there. Open that chest as wide as you can. See if you can lift the leg off the floor as much as you can. So rather than sliding the leg along the floor, can you lift it and in? Can you lift it? 15 seconds, you're almost there. Hopefully you're still sitting up nice and tall. Nobody is slouching back or leaning into the chair. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nicely done. Okay, 2 more exercises, and then we're doing round 2. Our next exercise, we're going to start with the legs nice and wide. I'm just going to move back a little bit. Okay, legs nice and wide, wider than your chair. Okay, so we're going to do our windmill here. So we're opening the legs nice and wide. We're reaching those fingertips on both sides down to one ankle. Doesn't matter which one, because we'll do both. But you start on one side, and what you're going to do here is you're going to imagine you dip your fingers in paint, and you're drawing a gigantic rainbow across the canvas in front of you down to the other leg. And then we go again. We go up and over, big reach. Up and over, big reach like that, okay? So you're moving your trunk. You'll notice that when I'm doing this, it's not just the arms moving, right? So I'm not just like this, but my torso, my torso is also going up and over, almost like I'm also drawing this rainbow with my breastbones. I'm going up and over with my body too, and it's not just the arms going like this. Okay, 2 minutes. Are you ready? Choose the side that you want to start on. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Up and over, big reach, open the fingers. Up and over, big reach, open the fingers. Up and over, really reach as far as you can, fill up as much space as you possibly can. So remember, if this is too fast, you can slow it down, but I do want your movement to be as large as possible. So I don't want to see anyone do this. Doesn't count. I really want you to reach as far as you can across the space. How much room can you fill up? How big can you draw this rainbow with your fingertips? And of course, you're welcome to speed it up, but if you are speeding it up, I don't want to see your movements get smaller either. I want it to be big, big. Nicely done. Keep going. 1 minute left. If you feel like this is really tough and you're really off balance, see if you can spread those legs a little wider, because if you're like this, you're gonna have a harder time with moving big and moving fast. Keep breathing, big reach. Big reach. 30 seconds. Nicely done. Remember, you're going up and over with your torso as well, not just the arms. You want your upper body to also be leaning from side to side, almost like you're transferring weight from one side of your butt cheek to the other. Nicely done. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nicely done. Okay, we've got one exercise left, and then we're gonna do it all again. The 5 exercises again for the second round. So for the last exercise, I'm gonna turn sideways, but you can stay where you are. You can keep facing forward. I'm just gonna turn sideways so you can see me. Okay, the last exercise we're doing a sit to stand, or if you don't want to stand up, that's okay too. You can do a bottom hover. I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so first, we're sitting at the front of our seat. So hopefully you're not like this, because if you're like this, you're gonna have a really hard time bringing your weight forward over your feet to actually stand. So you need to shimmy your bottom forward, bring your legs back a little bit. And then what you're gonna do here is you're gonna bring your body forward over your feet. Because if you're like this, it's gonna be really hard to stand up because your weight's too far back. So we're gonna bring our weight forward over our legs and then forward even more such that your bottom comes off the seat, but your weight is entirely over your feet. And then we push the floor away from us as hard as we can, push the floor away to stand up nice and tall. And then we're gonna do the same thing to sit back down. Stick our bottom back, keep our weight over our feet the entire time until the last second to sit down. So one of the most common mistakes to make when you are trying to stand is to keep your weight too far back. And then we end up doing this, where our bottom's off the seat, but see how my weight is so far back that I'm now needing to pull on something to come up. Or if you're sitting too far back and you're then pushing the back of your legs on the chair to stand up. We definitely don't want that. We want to use the muscles of our legs and our bottom to help us get up. So we're bringing the weight forward over our feet such that our bottom is hovering off the chair. And then we're going to push the floor away from us to stand up. Stick your bottom in, everything stacked on top of your base support, which in this case is your feet. And then we're going to bend those knees to lower down, but you're keeping your weight over your feet still, keeping your weight over your base of support until the last second when you sit down. So that's option 1, doing the sit to stand slowly. We're not going using momentum. We're going nice and slow when we're doing our sit to stands for 2 minutes. Or if you don't want to do a sit to stand, that's okay as well. You can just practice the hovering of the bottom and lowering down, whatever you prefer. But whatever you're choosing to do, you have to bring your weight over the base of support. That's what we're practicing, okay? All right, are you ready? You got 2 minutes here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So you can do whichever version you want, whether you're just hovering the bottom or you're doing the full stand. It's entirely up to you, but I want you to practice bringing your weight forward over your base of support, in this case, your feet, so that you can really stay balanced. And remember, we're not trying to do this as fast as possible, because I really want you to work on the control. Try not to use momentum, use the strength of your legs to do this movement. Nicely done. You're already 30 seconds in. Hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully nobody's asleep. Good, keep going, nicely done. Bring your weight over your base of support. You got 1 minute left, 30, or sorry, not 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You got 1 minute left. Good, keep going. Remember to start at the front of your chair, because if you're too far back in the chair, you're gonna have a really hard time standing. So if I'm like this, it's going to be really tough to bring my weight forward. So you gotta bring your bottom forward first in order to transfer your weight over your feet, over your base of support, to then push the floor away from you to stand. Or if you're just hovering your bottom, same thing. If you're starting too far back in the chair, you're going to have a really difficult time moving your weight over your feet to even hover your bottom off the seat. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, nicely done. All right, so we are now starting our 5 exercises again from the beginning, but now we're doing 1 minute for each exercise only instead of 2 minutes. So you've got 5 exercises. So the first one we did was our reverse wood chop. So we had our legs, let me move back. We had our legs a little wider than the chair. And what we did was we clasped our hands together, reached them down to one ankle, and then we pulled up in one motion in a diagonal to the other side of the room. And then we came back down. Do you remember that? So it's almost like you've got a paintbrush in your hands and you're drawing a gigantic diagonal line across the canvas in front of you all the way up. So you're kind of twisted around here, and then you come back down. Okay, so we're going to do 30 seconds one side and then 30 seconds the other side to get 1 minute of work. Make sense? So we start at the ankle, you pull up, keeping the elbows straight if you can. Ideally, we don't want to just be like this, right? This doesn't count if we're just bending and straightening our elbows. You want to keep the elbow straight, and you want the movement to kind of come from your torso, even though your arms are also moving. But you want the torso to sort of be in this position and then that position. So I'm kind of doing a diagonal movement with my torso as well. Can you see that? So rather than the arms doing this, I'm using the torso. So even though my arms are moving, I'm twisting with the torso as well. So do 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other side. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. So choose what side you want to do. We're going to do 30 seconds a side and then 30 seconds on the other side as well. Remember, if this is too fast, please slow it down. Don't feel like you have to match the speed. Pulling up and down. On a diagonal, like you've got a gigantic paintbrush in your hands and you're painting a line as long and as diagonal as you can make it on a canvas in front of you. Nicely done. Last 3, 2, 1. Switch sides right away. Other side, pulling up on a diagonal. Remember, it doesn't have to be the speed that I'm doing. You're welcome to slow it down if this is too much for you. But I do want you to maintain the quality of the movement. Think about how big you can do this movement. Imagine that paintbrush in your hands and you're drawing as big of a diagonal line as you possibly can to pull up. As big of a line as you can. Keep going. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, nice work, everybody. Let me come a little closer for this next one. Okay, exercise number 2, we were doing this. We stuck one leg out in front to show the bottom of your foot while you twist back. You bring one arm back, and then you clap. Oh, sorry, we don't lift the leg up. We go like this, and we lower it down. I'm mixing this exercise in the next one. Okay, so we go leg up and down, and you're twisting. So if my right leg is up, my left arm is forward. If my left leg is up, my right arm is forward, and the body is essentially doing this. Okay, you're twisting back. You're kind of looking on the side of the room, and you're lifting the opposite leg at the same time, like this. Okay, hopefully you got a little movement. Maybe I'll move forward a bit more because I don't want to be hitting the wall behind me. Okay, so we've only got 1 minute for this exercise. Are you ready? Remember to show me the bottom of your foot. No one should be putting their foot on the floor. I want to see it up in the air. Show me the bottom of your heel if you can. Are you ready? Sitting tall at the front of your seat. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice and tall, crown of the head, reaching for the ceiling if you can. Opposite arm to leg. You're twisting your torso from side to side like you're looking from the right side of the room to the left side of the room. Not just the arms moving, but your torso is twisting as well. So your breastbone is kind of going where your gaze is going. Nicely done. Halfway, 30 seconds left. Nicely done. Keep going, nice and tall. Remember, if this is too fast, you can slow it down. 15 seconds. Nicely done. You got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, nicely done, everybody. You got 3 more exercises, and then we're done, and then we're going to do our cognitive challenge, so you're almost there. Okay, next one, arms start exactly the same, except this time, we're bringing the leg out to the side, and you're opening those arms as wide as you can. Do you remember this one? You're spreading those arms out as wide as you can, filling up as much room as you can. And in that same leg, you're bringing in, hovering off the ground, then lower. And same thing on the other side. Big reach out. Whoops, let me move over. Big reach out, in, hover that leg, and lower. And then same to the other side. Open, in, keep that leg off the ground, then lower. Out, in, then lower. Okay? 1 minute. Are we ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Open as wide as you can. Really spread out those fingers as well. No one's hands should be like this. Open. Spread them out as wide as you can. Imagine there's $1 million on the right side of the room and the left side of the room, and you want both. You're really reaching as far as you can. Nicely done. Open the chest when you open the arms. You've got 30 seconds left. Remember, just like before, if this is too fast, please slow it down, but I want to see you move as big as you can, okay? 20 seconds left. Spread those fingers. Nicely done. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. You can shake out those arms, shake out those legs if you like. I'm going to move back for this next one. Okay, 2 exercises left. Our next one is our windmill. So this is the one where we started with our legs nice and wide. We're reaching those fingertips down to one ankle, and you're imagining that you dipped your fingers in paint, and you're going to draw as big of a rainbow as you can all the way over to the other leg, and then you repeat, reaching up and over and lower, up and over and lower. Okay? All right. Are you ready? Start on one side. You only got 1 minute. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Reach, 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 up and over. Remember, as you're drawing this rainbow movement with your arms, we're not just moving the arms. So you'll notice that my torso is also going up and over. Up and over. So I'm not just doing this with the arms, but I'm moving my torso up and over as well. So that's what you're aiming for. And just like before, if this is too fast, please do slow it down. Nicely done, up and over. 20 seconds left. Up and over. Up and over, as far as you can. How wide can you spread those hands? How high up can you reach with the arms? Nicely done. Keep going. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, last exercise. We are doing our sit to stand or our bottom hover. So we've got 1 minute here. And just like we did before, we're going to transfer our weight forward over our legs, over our feet, over the base of support. As far as you can, you're transferring your weight over your base of support, then you're pushing the floor away from you to stand up nice and slow. And then same thing on the way down. You're bending those knees, you're lowering your bottom, but you're keeping your weight over the base of support. And then you lower your bottom onto the seat. If you don't want to do the stand, that's absolutely fine. You can practice the bottom hover and lower. But if you are doing the hover, you want to make sure that you're bringing your weight forward over the legs to hover, and we're not doing this, right? We're not using our arms to just lift our bottom up, but you're bringing your weight forward like someone pulled you forward over your legs, and then you lower. Okay, last exercise, 1 minute. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Whichever version you want to do, up to you. And you can take your time on this, really work on control. Bring your weight forward over your base of support, in this case, your feet, to stand up or to just hover your bottom. Nicely done, everybody. You can definitely do this. This is your last exercise. Nicely done. You've only got 30 seconds left. Really work on the control here. We're not using momentum. We're not sticking our legs onto the chair to push ourselves up. And we're not pulling up on anything either. Try to use this weight shift over your base of support, in this case, your feet, to stand up or to hover. Remember to do this nice and slow so you can really control the movement. It doesn't have to be the speed that I'm doing. Just do a speed that works for you for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nicely done. Okay. All right. Well, that's the exercise portion. We are now going to finish with a little bit of a cognitive challenge. So we're doing a dual task challenge. Now, a dual task challenge is basically when we do a physical movement paired with a cognitive skill or thinking skill. So you're doing a physical task while doing a thinking task at the same time. And so what we're going to do here is we are going to do this movement. One hand on your tummy, one hand on your head. If you've done the Tuesday class, you probably remember this. You are going to pat your head like this while rubbing your tummy. So this is the physical movement. You're patting your head while rubbing your tummy. And then when I say switch, you switch hands. Same thing, patting the head, rubbing the tummy. Okay, that's the physical movement. Now, as you're doing that, we are also adding in a thinking skill. So I want you to say out loud, you're going to name as many countries as you can think of, starting from the letter A down the alphabet to Z. So you start by saying a country starting with the letter A, then B, then C, then D, and all the way down the alphabet. If you can't think of countries, cities would be okay as well. So essentially you're doing this movement while saying out loud countries or cities starting from the letter A down the alphabet. And then while you're doing that, to make it even more challenging, when I say switch, you switch hands to the other side. Okay, should we try? I know this one's a little bit harder, but let's try. So we're going to pat our head and rub our tummy at the same time. So let's just start with the physical movement here. And then we're going to start. When you're ready, I want you to say out loud countries or cities that you can think of, starting from the letter A down the alphabet. So a country or a city starting from the letter A, then B, then C, all the way down the alphabet. Okay, off you go. I'm going to try not to talk so I don't distract you. Hopefully your arms are still moving while you're thinking and saying the countries and cities. Hopefully you haven't stopped moving. And switch. So keep going with your verbal task, but we're switching the hands. And switch. Keep going with the countries and cities down the alphabet. If you really get stuck on one letter, skip it and go to the next one. Keep the hands moving though if you can. Switch. 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 Making your life difficult, sorry. Keep going with your verbal task. Switch. Switch. Hopefully you're still doing your verbal task. Switch. Switch. And let's finish there. Nicely done. Let's float those arms up beside us for a bit of a stretch. And we're going to tip down to the side. You're reaching one hand to the floor and the other one towards the ceiling. Hopefully you feel a stretch on the side of your body. You can bring those legs a little wider if you feel a bit unbalanced. Shoulders away from the ears. And coming back up, drop the arms, float them back up again. Same to the other side, reaching those arms away from each other. And coming back up, drop the arms, legs in a little bit. Take your hand, reach the opposite knee, and the other hand's wrapping around the back of the chair, sitting tall, and you're twisting yourself around to look at the back wall. Spine nice and long like a corkscrew. And return to the front. Same to the other side. Take your other hand, grab hold of the opposite knee. The other hand's wrapping around the back of the chair. You're sitting tall and you're twisting yourself around to look at the back wall. Spine nice and long if you can. Crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. And coming back to the front. Let's do a little bit of a thigh stretch here. So in sitting, we're going to actually turn ourselves over onto a corner so that the front knee, you can drop it towards the floor. So it's not touching the floor, but you're just sliding the foot back and trying to reach the kneecap towards the floor. So it's pointed at the floor, but not on the floor. Then you're going to lean back into your chair to really open up the front of your hip. Keep your knee pointed down at the floor. So you should feel a stretch in your thigh and then your hip here. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up. Let's go to the other side. You're going to drop one knee towards the floor, so you're pointing the kneecap at the ground. Then you're leaning back into your chair such that this part of your hip is straight, and you can feel that stretch in the front of your thigh and at the front of your hip, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up one more side, pointing the knee down to the floor, leaning back into your chair. You can feel that at the front of the thigh for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And coming back up, same to the other side, pointing that knee towards the floor, leaning back, really pushing your hip forward. Last 3, 2, 1, coming up. And you are finished. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the first seated exercise series this October. I hope you had lots of fun. This class is a little bit more fast-paced than some of our other exercise classes in the past. So, for example, if you've done our Stretch and Strengthen low-impact series, you'll probably notice a difference there. But this class, I hope it's doable, but still challenging for you and still gets you working a little bit harder, even though we're fully seated. So just because it's a seated class doesn't mean it can't be hard, unfortunately. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I don't see any questions in the chat box, so that either means you were all asleep or you were all working really hard, but either way, a quiet chat box is not necessarily a bad thing. So thank you very much for joining us. And remember, the exercise class is recorded, so it will go onto our YouTube channel sometime next week. And so you are welcome to have a look at the recording. All right, thank you, everybody.